Hello, everybody, and welcome to our channel. I'm Mark.
And I'm Rob.
Today, we're going to recap the Indiana Fever's 104-100 overtime victory over the Atlanta Dream. Hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so and hit that notification bell when you do. We're going for 5,000 subscribers, and we're getting close, growing fast. We need your help. If you like the fact that the Indiana Fever came back from 16 down yesterday, subscribe to our channel. If you like Caitlin Clark, subscribe to our channel. If you like the fact that the Cleveland Browns lost yesterday,
Hey, watch it.
Made Rob depressed, even more depressed than I was when my Green Bay Packers lost. Subscribe to our channel if you like football.
hey. One game. It's only one game. Only one game.
All right. Well, Rob, the good news is they won. The bad news is Coach Sides is still their coach.
It seems like, Mark, that she's still the same coach. same game plan, same. It's like the Batman, same bat time, same bat channel. She doesn't want to change her way of thinking. She just when you think she's going to do it,
she wants them to slow it down and put the ball into the post 50 times a game at least.
No.
Even though someone like Melissa Smith isn't even that good in the post. So I don't know.
No.
So what's obvious right now is after this game is that Temi Fagbenley is back now. She seems healthier. This is the first time she actually seemed like she's got her, she feels better out there. Maybe her shoulder's not bothering anymore. Her hand isn't bothering as much. And she needs to start. If she doesn't start the next game, I don't know what's going to happen, Rob. It's ridiculous because it's obvious what their best five is right now. And that's who played the fourth quarter in overtime. And they gelled and they give them some extra defense. And Melissa Smith is way, way too inconsistent, especially on her defense, Rob.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that she's feeling much better. It takes a while. I think she's finally gotten over the pain in her hand. She just went out there and just played basketball, which is cool. I mean, it's hard after injury. Really, it's hard to go out there and not think about it. But once you get that point where you're like, big deal, I take my hand, I'm just going to go out and play, and I can catch the ball, it doesn't hurt, and my shoulder doesn't hurt. Well, then you you get that adrenaline going and you just keep playing.
And Hall played great. It looks dumber and dumber that it took her this long to put her in the starting line where she started Samuelson and Wallace over Hall. I wasn't here last year. Hall did start some games last year, but I can't imagine she didn't play great defense last year. So all I know is they need defense and they need her. They didn't start her on Howard. If they had started on Howard, I think Howard would have had fewer points. They didn't have her cover until like the second half. But the refs weren't too bad this game, but they had two bad calls at least. One was when Ryan Howard drove into Hall, initiated all the contact, pushed her back actually as she drove in. They got a foul call against Hall. So Christy Sides challenged it. It was really weird because the two refs weren't in communication with the ref discussing it with Sides, whether she was going to challenge or not. And she started taking the free throw. And then there was a challenge. And then the other coach got upset. But hey, that she had initiated the conversation before they took the free throw. So that was overturned and it ended up being a jump ball, which the Fever actually did win the jump ball. So it was okay. But it should have been a charge. Howard seems to get the benefit of the calls somewhat. She charges and pushes in sometimes when she drives, and she seems to get the benefit of the calls, kind of like Jewel Lloyd. Clark never gets those calls.
Clark
gets those calls.
I see a lot of the players, they drive in and they use that offhand to push off the defender and then go up, and then they get the call. I'm like, that offhand is a foul. You can't. I mean, you can drive in and go up, but when you drive in and then you push your arm out, extend your arm out, that's a foul on you.
A lot of them do that James Harden move where they drive the shoulders in and then, get the call or try to get the call. And Harden's not even get those calls anymore in the NBA. But for some reason, that's what they keep trying to do. And sometimes they get it. But like I said, somehow Clark never gets those calls.
Oh, no. No, I don't think so.
There was another bad call where Clark was dribbling the ball over half court and Smith was coming up to almost equal with her. And she passed it to Smith. And Smith was just over the line, and they called over and back. And I guess they didn't challenge it, and that was a turnover to Clark. So one of the turnovers that Clark got wasn't a turnover. just so you know.
Oh, so I dropped it down to 8.
She still had too many turnovers. Of course, anytime she passes to somebody, they don't catch it. They always give her a turnover too. There was one to Hall that could have gone either way, but she got the turnover. Of course, they love giving her.
She still kind of forces, or it's very strange. She'll come down and kind of just lob that pass in, almost like telegraph the pass. Like, I'm going to pass it to Boston now. Here it comes, and just kind of floats it in. And I'm like, what are you doing? What kind of pass is that?
Well, a lot of players do that, Rob. But yeah, when you do that, it gives the defender a chance to jump in front and get the ball.
Right.
So, I don't know. But Clark did play a good game. She just had too many turnovers again. And if she wants to be MVP of the league, she needs to cut down on the turnovers. Again, she's always going to have more turnovers because she has high risk, high reward passes. I have no problem with that. But a 2-to-1 ratio would be nice when she gets up to 2-to-1 ratio for assists to turnovers. And she also has to improve her defense.
What about her whining? About her complaining?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it's tough when you're never getting the benefit of the call. But yeah, she does whine too much. But
yeah,
I can sympathize with it, Rob. You know, she's been screwed over since day one in this league.
Yeah, I understand that, but it takes away. I mean, you keep complaining, it takes away from the game, and then, like I said, it takes away from all the people who look at her and like, oh, she's really a complainer. She's a good player, but she's like, she reminds of Luka. You know, every little play.
Right.
You know, it's kind of annoying.
Well, the difference is Luka doesn't get. You know, he's not getting screwed over in the calls. And sometimes they're wrong, but he's not getting screwed up. Clark's been screwed over since day one. So, like I said, I have sympathy, but she's kind of played past it. Apparently, you know, a little less whining. That's all I can say. I can understand.
Yeah, just focus on your game. Keep playing, and you know. I mean, like I said, when I used to tell my players, I call timeout when the referees were really bad. I go, look, you know, we're not going to get the calls. The referees suck. So what are we going to do? Just keep playing. I'll take care of that if it gets too out of hand. But at least they're sucking for both teams. So, I mean,
yeah, but you would take care of it. Sides doesn't take care of it. She won't.
Yeah, I would definitely.
She's gotten one technical all year. We talked about that last time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a problem. But they were down by 16. Like, I don't know, maybe 6 minutes left in the third quarter. And they just weren't playing well. And the whole team had too many turnovers. And their defense, again, was suspect. Too many open threes. Like, I mean, this is like, I don't know, it's just a rewind. I feel like I'm seeing the same movie all over and over and over again. They double team on the post, or they're too far off to the person to begin with. And then they close in, and closing in isn't good enough. And I keep saying this, and they don't listen.
Well,
Rob, they don't watch our videos, Rob.
I know. Well, you yelled at me that one game. They kind of changed. You yelled at Hull, and they listened to you. You took over, and you told her to shoot threes because she wasn't shooting threes. And she.
Oh, well, that was during the game. So she must have telepathically heard me to tell her to shoot the three.
Yeah, you had the vibes going. But you're right, Mark. It's like a broken record for those of you people who actually, some of us did have records and they broke. Yeah, that's what it seems like, the skipping of the record.
Well, Coach Sides is going to want to play this dumb slow down ball, and it's going to cost him games in the playoffs. I just don't see him doing anything in the playoffs unless Coach Sides changes her mind and just lets him play like when they were winning 5 straight games. They were playing up tempo basketball.
I want to be the person in that. Like I said, I want to be the person in what does she say during the halftime, because it can't keep doing this. It can't keep coming back.
They can, Rob, because they do it every time. They're capable of it. 10-2 run again or something like that in the beginning of the third quarter. They're just terrible in the beginning of the third quarter.
This is true, but it's like, come on, what are you telling them in the halftime? Like, we got this game in the bag.
What they're saying is, listen, let's give the other team some confidence. Come out in the middle of the third quarter and give them like a nice 10-2 run just to get things going. Give them overconfident, and then we'll make a comeback. That works every time.
And I won't call any timeouts, even though when they get the lead by 7 or 8 when they're coming back, I'll play it out. And you guys just get in there and come back and win the game.
The number of times she's too slow with timeouts is amazing to me.
They won. But they won in overtime.
The good news is they won. The comeback was impressive for the people that did it, the 5 players that did it. Most of the time they were in there. And we'll go over some stats just so you know. I mean, Smith, again, is way too inconsistent. She shouldn't start, and she needs to get her head on her shoulders. Right. She was she was a negative 17, Rob. And I'm not
Yeah,
plus
see.
and minuses isn't always fair because it depends on who the opponents play and who you're playing with. But there's some indication something's wrong when she's a minus 17 in her 17 minutes. And Feg Benley played 28 minutes, was a plus 21, and nobody else was better than a plus 9. So there's a reason Feg Benley is getting a plus there, Rob. Now they have a second defender besides
Right, two. But they don't have anybody to guard the perimeter, though.
No, Mitchell tried, but obviously Mitchell can't shut down Howard. Howard's taller than her. She's talented. So Howard got 36 points yesterday. Yeah. She was 13 for 28, but only 4 for 13 in threes. Mm-hmm. So she shot the same as Clark, 4 for 13 in threes. But she got 36 points and 5 assists and 4 rebounds. So she had a good game. But Canada played good defense on Clark, but I thought she got away with too much physical contact, poking in there, grabbing her a little bit, clutching her. And the refs did call some fouls on her, but because she ended up with 5 fouls. But I thought she did it all game long. And, I think
that's what I mean. If the referee's going to allow him to do it, and that's how you frustrate Clark, if she's not getting a foul and she starts complaining, you've done your job as a defensive player. It's like, yeah, I've done my job. That's pretty cool.
Right. Well, Clark ended up being 7 for 17. And like I said, 4 for 13 at threes, 8 for 8 at the free throw line, and 2 times at the end of the overtime, at the end of the game, she went 2 for 2 in the free throws and iced the game. So that was great. She also had 5 rebounds and 12 assists. And she had 3 fouls herself, but she ended up with 26 points. The best player of the game was Boston, who was 11 for 16, 8 for 8 from the free throw line, which is great for her. 13 rebounds and 30 points. Rob, wow.
So she made her layups, you mean?
Oh, Rob, that's what I want to say about the game. Thanks for bringing that up. There was very few missed layups. For an WNBA game, very few missed layups. I was almost shocked.
Wow.
There was some that shouldn't have been missed, but they didn't miss nearly as many layups as the last game, or the last couple of games, actually. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what that means. I guess it's just an aberration. I doubt it's going to be a turnaround.
I think again, it's your influence again, Mark. You're telepathically.
I told them practice. Yeah.
Yeah, you
go practice your layups.
And listen, maybe they heard me like, Rob's going to make us run a lap. We better make these layups.
I don't know. Some of them shoot the layups from their hips. Maybe if they shot from higher, they'd have a better percentage for layups. Just better form, maybe, Rob, but better practice. Who knows? Maybe part of it is, I suspect, that if the refs don't call a foul, you miss the layup. You might not have missed it if the refs were calling the game tighter. So I could blame a little bit on the refs, a little bit on the ones where there's contact and they don't call a foul. Because I don't think the refs call the game tight enough in the WNBA. I think they allow too much physicality. But we're talking wide open layups that people miss. Women don't miss all the time. So
yeah, I mean, with the driving to the hoop layup, it's always momentum. So if they're driving to the hoop with the layup and they kind of short and they stop and shoot it, that's why they're shorting it out. I mean, you see if you see a layup line, if you're doing it correctly, you're going all the way through, and you end up underneath the basket because that helps your momentum with the layup. But
or
like stopping short,
or they try to get contact with the defender first and then shoot the layup. Just make the layup. If the person's going to foul, you'll get it. Just make the layup. You're having enough trouble making the layup. Quit trying to get contact. Trying to draw a foul. Geez, it drives me crazy when I see that. I've seen it on the replays. Mm-hmm. Drive into them. And if the refs would stop falling for that, it wouldn't happen anymore. Like we talked about earlier with Howard. Mm. But anyways, well, it looked like they weren't even they were down in the fourth quarter, and they came back a second time, Rob. They were down like 9 in the fourth quarter. Oh. And they came back again, and luckily, Boston hit a hook shot and they went into overtime. But Boston was good. So, and that's, considering she had to play against Tina Charles, that's a good thing. She's not an easy matchup for her, Rob. Tina Charles was only 7 for 22, but she did have 12 rebounds and 17 points. So
okay,
Alicia Gray played well for the Atlanta Dream. She's she was like 3 for 6 from three, but only 6 for 19 overall. But she shot the threes. She got 15 points. But I think the Dream really wanted this game, and so I think it's a good win, because the Dream needed it for the playoffs. And it turned out Chicago won without Angel Reese, and so the Dream just lost a game out of the playoffs. Now they're a game out now, so they needed that to make the playoffs. Wheeler only played 3 minutes, so there's not much to say about her. Samuelson played 5 minutes, did nothing, as usual. She hasn't done anything for half a dozen games. Dantas only played 4 minutes, so you can't really comment on her. She basically played a 6-person rotation. Clark ended up playing 45 minutes, and Mitchell played 42. I know. It's overtime. It should have been 39 minutes because she should be playing 34 minutes. But since Sides doesn't know anything about how to do rotations and rests and what the proper players should be, how can you expect her to get this right?
So what are you trying to say, Mark? Exactly. What are you trying to?
I'm saying she sucks as a coach, and nothing's going to convince me otherwise. And I really have no confidence in the playoffs because the playoff teams tend to have the better coaches too. So that tells me she's going to get out coached every game, which is not good when they probably have more talent too.
Well, we'll see. They got two games against the Aces, so we'll see Wednesday and Friday. So we'll see.
Right. So the Aces is interesting because A'ja Wilson is injured. She's in a boot right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we have no idea whether she's playing in either game. We know they're giving her the MVP award. We know that for sure because that was given out to her in week 1.
Yeah, it's done. So, it's done already.
We know we're more sure about the MVP award than we are about whether she's playing or not the next 2 games.
Right, exactly.
So the Aces lost to Liberty without A'ja Wilson, but they might have lost her with A'ja Wilson against the Liberty. So we'll see. But it looks like, more and more they're going to play probably the Connecticut Sun in the playoffs. It looks like they're going to be in 6th place. If you look at the standings, they're 2 games up with Phoenix, but they're really more than 2 games up because they have the tie break. So you could call it 2.5 or 3, whatever you want to call it. So right now, that's the standings. Fever's 19-17 and 10.5 games out, and 2.5 games out of Seattle. So not only 4 games left. Not a lot of confidence they're going to get 5th place or even 4th place. That'd be 3.5 games out. Right. Who knows? The Aces could tank because they don't have A'ja Wilson. They could lose all the rest of their games. Who knows? The Mercury's 2 games behind, so it's not going to happen. So we'll see what happens.
Depends. Yeah, we'll see what happens. The Aces need these games because they want to stay in that 4th spot so they can have the home court advantage.
Yeah, they're only 1 game up on the Seattle Storm right now.
Yeah.
So their defense was very inconsistent this game. So it's still not good. It really, really isn't. Still not good. Yeah. So I don't know what to say. Their half-court offense, they did have one play where they kind of set a screen for Clark, and she came around and had a 3 in the corner. It was everybody touched the ball. That was pretty good. But other than that, their half-court offense still isn't very good. The pick and roll was better than it was against Minnesota. That's how Boston got her points. They need to play better than this if they're going to win in the playoffs. So.
Yeah, let's make it that. Yeah, I mean that's all. Like you said, all they need to do is win 1 game. That's it.
Well, they have to win 2 games, but they have to win 1 to get it, then have the 3rd game at home. But they don't have the depth right now. It's just Samuelson's not playing well. She doesn't play Wallace at all, so I don't know if she can contribute or not. But she's cold right now. She doesn't play Berger at all. Saxton, I don't even know if she's on the team or not. So, but.
She's like that player. She's like the player to be mentioned later type person.
Right. And Smith's so inconsistent, but it's obvious who they should start at this point. So the 5 players who finished the game, 40 minutes for Clark and 45 minutes for Clark is too many. Because if they play up tempo, it takes a toll on your energy level. And if she plays her 34 minutes, then Clark could play up tempo more. Mm-hmm. Of course, put in Wheeler just for those 6 minutes. That's it. Then she can substitute someone in for Mitchell, someone like Wallace for 6 minutes or something like that. And, I don't know.
There you go, being logical, Mark. I mean, stop it.
Samuelson seems lost, and Smith's too inconsistent.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, we'll see. We'll see these next two games. I think, like I said, these next two games are important for both teams to see how they see how they match up in the playoffs. And the Aces need this for home court advantage.
It'd be awful if they can't beat the Aces without Asia Wilson. That would look really bad because they're only like a 4th seed right now, so they should be able to win both games if they don't have Asia Wilson. But no one even knows how serious the injury is. All they know is that she's wearing a boot. We don't even know how serious the injury is for Angel Reese. All we know is that I guess she's got something on her wrist, but she's also using that wrist to hold her mic for her podcasts, which are breathtakingly interesting, I'm sure.
Maybe it's a watch. I think she has a watch on that wrist, I think. I don't know.
I'll take her word for it that it's a real injury, but it's just kind of weird that we have no doctor's report.
Yeah, I still haven't.
She looked fine in the post-game conference, just sitting there like this. Her wrists were fine. So join us both for the next two games. It's going to be 7 o'clock on NBA TV against the Aces on Wednesday. And then on Friday at 7:30 on ION. Both Rob and I will be there for both games. So join us live for that. Feel free to do that and make some comments in the chats. And join us tonight for our regular live show. It's 6 to 8 Eastern time. We'll talk about this game, the playoffs in the WNBA, and the football games yesterday. Unfortunately, both the Browns and the Packers lost. However, the Eagles and the Bills won. Bills won a comeback win yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
If you like this video, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? If you like Caitlin Clark, subscribe. If you like football, subscribe. Just subscribe. Don't get Rob upset. You get that mean look. You don't want that.
It's too late.
Hit that notification bell when you do so you get notified of our next videos. And if you want to donate to this channel, there's super chats and super thanks down below. And let us know what you think about the game yesterday in the comments down below. There's also a link to PayPal if you want to donate to the channel. And we'll see you in the next video.
Peace out.